being afraid just because you're young. Anyways, nothing belongs to you. Even those years you're trying to save, you could die tomorrow, actually.
What does it mean to people that grow up in the countryside?
I would say it's a challenge in itself, but not really a challenge because you do not realize it's a challenge. One of the things that I probably do not like about growing up there, for example, is that you do not get exposed to anything. It's like that same life you are living is the same life you keep living. Nothing stimulates you to do, different things than what you are doing. It's more of everything is settled.
It's like a routine there.
Yeah, everything is the same. Nothing is changing. Could probably go there, back there 5 years after, and nothing have changed. Probably people grew up, but then not really much. So I think, it was like that's the first thing. For me, I always wanted to explore all these things. It's like, I guess if I read a book, now I'm like, I want to do poetry, for example. But there is no club.
Mm-hmm.
There is no poetry club. I go in the library, I found book. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even have friends I can share this passion with. I don't have people I can share this. I can meet at the library and discuss books. Okay, it's not because it's there, but it's because when there is no many people who are very different from each other, it's hard to find the person we are looking for. For example, it's a smaller sample of people, and if they happen to all to share the same things, the life is always the same there, you're not going to find that exact person you are looking for. Say it's a friend. You want a friend who share your passion for sports, for example. If you don't have a bigger sample of people to look among, it's harder to find that person you're looking for. So how it was, I think that was the biggest thing. And I realized that when I got into boarding school, because then I met people from different parts of the country, mostly Bubanza, Bujumbura. Then people had different point of views. People were into different things. You would hear someone talking about this thing and you've never heard about it before. And it wasn't, I would say it wasn't a challenge in itself, but for me, it opened my eyes. I was like, so you could do this too. So you could do this too. And then for me, I'm like, if you do not have that chance of meeting someone who opens your eyes, you do not know the whole list of possibilities that are out there. So that's the thing. That would be the thing that's most challenging. Even though it's not challenging because you do not realize it's a challenge, but it's something if you live your whole life not having anyone challenging you or stretching you or maybe widening your horizons, it's harder to know that you could do more than probably you are doing. Another thing is, I would say parents or people or adults, it's like everybody knows everybody. It's like if you live here, you are the child of this parent and that parent too and that parent too. And so if you do anything wrong, everybody will be like...
They can identify you, easily.
Yeah, they know you, they can talk to your parents, but also they feel like they are responsible for you. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing because you have people who are caring about you. But at the same time, it feels like everybody's watching you. And if you happen to do something that everybody knows about, it's your history now. Everybody knows you as the kid who did this or did that. And the thing is, when you then want to change or become something else, it's harder for people who grew up with you to change their perspective or how they see you. It's like when you go back with these whole new ideas or stuff, people are like, you were the kid who were doing these things. Why are you now doing these things? So it's like everybody knows you, everybody has their opinion on you, which could not be always a bad thing, but sometimes can be limitating.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your life? Maybe when you were too young, maybe primary school. Where did you do primary school? even maybe a secondary school?
I went to elementary school in SOS, Chirito, okay? And then after that, I got a chance. I was the second. Okay, they were taking the first person to go to these excellent schools.
Mm-hmm.
And that same year, they took 3. And so I was second in class. So I got the chance to pass, to do the test. And I did the test. I passed. So I followed, I pursued my high school at Excellence School, Lycée d'Excellence Gagara, all 6 years of high school. And I've already said it, one of the main part of my upbringing or me growing up was reading. I think I read a lot of books. That was my main pastime. If I'm not doing anything, I could even trade school time for reading. I could be in class and reading one book and then another book. I could finish 2 books in one day, in a single day. And so from elementary school, these teachers who saw me reading, who saw me trying to read, many of them would look for books for me and then give them to me, even though we did not have a library, even though we didn't have, it probably was a few books, but they would always try to give me a book when I finish another one. And after that, I discovered the library, the local library, and I started going there. So the reason why this is all I'm talking about is because that was really my biggest pastime. If I'm not studying, I was reading. Something else that really shaped who I am today,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also going to high school at Lycée d'Excellence Gagara, because as I got there, that's when I realized that there were a lot that I did not know. You know, in elementary school, you're learning math, you call it calcul, and then you go to real math and other things, other subjects. And so that's where I discovered things I did not know. And also I found a bigger library, and I started reading again. And I've also met people there who have taught me a lot, but that's a story for another day. And after, at that high school, I started doing quiz ball, Génies en herbe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was, okay, I'm trying to format this in a way that shows how
I was once
I
a member
loved
of that, by the
exploring.
way. When I was
J'avais.
yeah. You didn't know that?
You did Génies en
Yes,
herbe.
yeah, I
Where?
did that. That's a story for another day.
Okay. I'm trying to format this in a way that can show how I think for most of my life, I was trying to explore different things that are not even related to each other. So Génies en herbe also, you learn about different things. It's not a course. You are learning about geography, sports,
true.
one personality, this other
Religion.
person. Yeah. It's not really even related to each other. Everything I've talked about until now has led to this exact moment. It's crazy how even doing poetry, doing this and this has served me in this journey. And that's why I believe it's a calling.
That's true.
Because everything I am, everything I do, everything I love, I can find a way of combining them in this PCM thing, in these activities.
Really? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what surprises me, because I'm also someone who loves exploring. So I cannot limitate myself to one thing and only have one activity. So for me, it was amazing when I discovered that I can combine everything I have, everything I am, everything I know to this activity and focus on it. So how it started, I'm going to say when I graduated high school, there is this program, summer program. It's called Menya Opportunity. Shout out to guys. They really, really changed how I see things.
Okay.
Because in high school, I've always wanted to do school abroad. It's an illusion of every child. I think it's an illusion of every student out there. You're like, when I finish school, I'm going to study abroad. And then I wanted to study abroad. But then when I graduated from high school, from boarding school, I was like, where do I start now? What do I do? How do I even get to submit my application words? I did not even know all those vocabulary. And so I participated in this program. It was, I think, a month or 6 weeks. And by that time, when I finished the program, it kind of opened my eyes to this whole world of opportunities. You start seeing things you can apply to, things that you've always wanted but never knew exist. For example, you see there is a way you could submit an application and get scholarship to a school abroad. For me, that was very new. I did not know that it was possible. You start seeing a way, you see different people who are teaching you. They have gone through the same path. So they inspire you. And so it was a whole new world. I was like, all these things, I've never seen them before. I've never seen any of this before. And especially, I've never seen this where I come from. It's like when I go home, when I leave Bujumbura, I would never find a program like this at home without having to leave home to come here in Bujumbura. And so I was like, it made me sad. I'll say it made me sad because that means that somewhere who is not in Bujumbura would never have that opportunity to know that it even exists. And for me, I started thinking a lot of times I would stay up late at night thinking about that. And I was like, what can I do? I don't have any experience. I don't have anything to give right now. I could not see the way of doing it. But then I started this whole application thing of applying to universities. And by that, you meet different people, you connect to different people in hope of getting guidance. And many of those people I met with were doing initiatives in their communities, in their countries. And I started seeing how they format things, how you can take the knowledge you have, the little things you have to do something in your community. And I said, maybe there is something I can do. Maybe even having all this information can be useful to someone else who doesn't. And I think that's how it started. I say, I'm going to use all these resources I have, maybe not financial, but, I'm graduating from high school. I don't have a job, but I'm going to take all these resources, all these people I know, all these people I've talked to, all this knowledge I've learned, all these things I've gathered from clubs I participated in, and I'm going to try and find something. And when I started thinking about that, I was like, then how do I start? Because of course you want to do it, the passion is there, but sometimes the practical...
You are behind PCM. It was born from a lived experience and a calling from God, right?
I went home. I think I was home, and I drafted an introduction. I took all the good vocabularies I knew, all the fancy words I knew, every English in me, I took it to write this introduction. And then I formatted as a club. I said, going to have PCM club. By the way, I think I've deleted more than 20 names to find the name PCM. I was like, do I say G? No. Do I say the... I deleted names again and again. And after that, I wrote that introduction. I said, it's going to be this, we're going to do these activities, our objectives are this and this. And then I sent the whole document to my friends. Friends from high school, friends from home, for everybody I knew. Crazy enough, not many people took interest in it, but the few people who took interest in it were very interested. They were asking me, where is this coming from? Does it operate in Burundi? What does it? I say, it's in Burundi, yeah. And of course we can join. I did not even tell them that I was the founder or the one who's doing it. I just said, just come, please. And I think right before that, there were some friends who had asked me to help them with English. And I said, you can come at home and I'm going to practice together because I also don't know that much English. And then the day they came, they found the whole introduction on the blackboard at home.
Sure.
I had written PCM Club, we're going to do this. And so they thought it was a program that was outlined way before, maybe something that has been operating for 3 years. I don't know what they thought. And after telling my friends about that, many of them joined. Okay, some of them joined, others did not.
Sure.
And we started working from there, doing activities. Yeah. Did I respond to the question?
It's true. It's true. You did. You speak from your heart, because even though you say that people are, by the time they got home and they see how you outline certain things related to PCM Academy. Okay, it was a club initially. You speak that from your heart normally. That's why maybe they saw it was something that was there maybe for long, because maybe it was in your heart. But can you tell us a little bit? What do you do there?
Okay, so initially, it was supposed to be a club. So something I've not talked about is like we created a Facebook group, not even a WhatsApp group, because some of us were still students in boarding schools. So we created this Facebook page, group chats. And the plan was to teach ourselves something new, maybe each week or each month. And then I would create videos of talking about something that I've learned, or I said someone also can join and talk about something they've learned. But then I was afraid of cameras. It was very hard for me to take a video. I would take 10 trials before getting to the one I sent. And then limited
Today
connection.
You are good.
Hey. Like I would take 10 videos, 10 drafts before deciding this is the one I'm going to send. And then connection was bad. The network wasn't there. I could send a video and it's take a whole week to be sent. And so I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't recall exactly what happened, but somewhere along the way, we stopped talking. People got busy. I think people got busy with school. I also got busy. I started university. I got busy with school. And then I don't even remember exactly what happened so that we can bring it back. But maybe it was an inspiration that came. I do not remember exactly. But we moved from Facebook group to WhatsApp group, and we said, this time we're going to do something big. And what we did is we started this Chibuto Global Youth Summit, the event. It always happens in the summer. We prepared it. We say we're going to do an activity and bring people we know who can share experiences. They may be friends or people who have met. And also invite people from Chibuto, okay? Invite people who...
Chibuto Bujumbura?
Chibuto, Chalugo.
Countryside?
Yeah.
The countryside. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's where I live. That's where you
used to live?
Yeah.
Those days?
That's where my family was.
Okay, yeah, back then.
Okay, now they moved, but Chibuto is still in my heart.
Okay.
You cannot remove it from my heart.
Okay. Chibuto is good. I know the place.
You went there?
Yeah, I visit the place.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's very cool and good.
You should move there.
Mainly Lugombo, a lot of pineapples there.
Yes, very nice. Pastèque too.
Pastèque also.
Okay, watermelons.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So that was the first activity we did. What?
We're gonna check. I think we have to test your accent in Kirundi, how you speak Kirundi from Cibitoke. There is a way of speaking from Cibitoke.
I speak normally.
Yeah, okay.
There is nothing wrong with my accent. It's normal Kirundi.
Somebody from Cibitoke, when they are speaking Kirundi, I can say from Cibitoke. I can't tell.
Never.
The Bukinanyana there.
Never get. People maybe have an accent because it's close to Rwanda or Congo. So they might have,
of things.
Yeah, they're mixed, or maybe some people came from Rwanda. But I think I never heard anyone talk with an accent. I don't think. Maybe you could find it.
You can't tell.
Maybe you could.
Go ahead.
But you could never. So yeah, I was talking about how the first activity was that we said we're going to make this move beyond the club, beyond just us, and invite people. Have speakers who are going to share their experiences. And then I said, okay, it's going to happen. We decided it's going to happen in the summer. It happened. And then it was 5 days. We invited speakers. We asked for a place at my former elementary school, SOS. They gave us a place. And after that, we say we're going to add another activity, and we did some other program named Itarawide Horizons. It was meant to inform students about opportunities that exist, mainly academic opportunities to go and study abroad. Because although it may seem that it's a thing here, it's not really a thing across Burundi. Some people don't know about this. It's not a movement of Campus France, as you see here. And that was the main objective of the program. It was supposed to be a 1-year program. We took 6 scholars from high school who still have pre-final year of high school, and we trained them. Okay, it's still happening until now, so that's another activity. And something else we do is a French class. We do teach French during the summer. The objective of that is to make people understand or be familiar with the language of instruction, be confident in it so they can perform well in class. This summer, we did something very special. It was a picnic. It was supposed to be a friendly chat before going to school. And it was very enthusiastic. People were very enthusiastic about it. And yeah, I think that could summarize the activities we do, but we're still expanding.
Okay, anyone who is, what is the target, maybe people, maybe I've been talking to people like, I don't know, who said that maybe there are people who can say, okay, we are, more focused on girls. Do you have everything to operate? What is it? Can you tell us? The fans.
We both know there have to be challenges, right?
And the fans and whatever.
I'll say one of the biggest challenge we faced, starting with this whole thing. By the way, it's 2 years now. It has 2 years, and some days over. But the first challenge we faced was to make people believe in it, trust that this can be important. Okay, not really believe that it was important, but people can know that something is valuable, but do not want to be part of it. So it was a whole thing to convince people to come to our events. And the reason of that is because we grew up there. Most of us grew up there. So it was like your old friends. You are inviting your old friends. You are inviting people you know, people who saw you, people you met at church. It's basically people who are familiar with you. It's hard to then convince them, okay, I'm now doing this thing. Have never been there before. Convincing them, then come to this event. They think, are you going to teach us what's going to be there? People are asking, are you going to dance? Are you going to eat? And we say, no, it's going to be about learning new stuff and, meeting with people. So that was the first challenge. I think adults or maybe people from school, teachers, they took it seriously. That's even how we got the place to do the event. But it was even harder to find people, communicate with them, basically advertise for the event, because you cannot post it on Instagram. Not everybody is going to see it. You have to go to people directly and talk to them and say, there is this whole event, come to the event, this is how it's going to be. And respond to the question, obviously, are you going to eat? Are you going to dance? You say no, then convince them that it's going to be something more important or as important as dancing. So that was the first challenge. And then the second, I think for me, was to communicate the whole vision of PCM. Because when it started, I told you it started as a club. So going from a club to then organizing events, I'm thinking that many of my friends were like, what are we even doing? It was supposed to be a club. Why are we organizing events? So for me, because I did not have this experience yet, I didn't know exactly how it works, or is this going to be an organization? Is it going to be a passion project, something I do just for passion, then leave it after? So for me, not having this clarity of thoughts translated to not being able to communicate it well to my team or to my friends who were helping me, to be like, this is what I need. This is the help I need to organize things. This is how I want you guys to support me. And I think even until now, it's not yet clear because it keeps evolving. It's not yet established. But at that time when it started, it was even more complicated to explain it to people and be like, this is how you can support. This is the problem we're solving. I think also another challenge, as one may say it's a challenge, but for us it wasn't as big. You talked about funds.
Mm-hmm.
Having funds wasn't really a challenge. Why? I'm going to explain. Don't come for me. It was a challenge, but not really a challenge, because before starting, we all had in mind that it wasn't going to be some sponsored thing, some funded thing. We said, let's do a thing that costs as little as possible.
Mm.
We're going to ask for a place. We're going to invite friends, people who we always hang out with, or people who share some activities together. We tried to make it as low cost as possible. And the reason why is because we were not registered as an organization. It's hard to go and find people and tell them, put your money, invest your money in this thing. What is it even? So we said we're going to try and make it low cost. And the reason, for me, there was a reason behind all of this, is because I said there are bigger organizations, there are bigger platforms, but I've never seen anyone doing this. I've never seen anyone thinking, maybe this whole thing we're doing in Bujumbura is not reaching some people. Maybe there has to be access for these other people. And I said, even if you have all these funds, big funds, it's not necessary that you're going to do it. You might have these funds and do something else with it. But we say, let's try to use our knowledge, to use the little experience we have, and try and share it with others. Because as you do it, you also are learning from it, but also someone is benefiting from it, and you are not wasting time. Because if you wait until you get the funds, it's always too late for it. It's always too late. And as you wait, someone who might have benefited from it is not benefiting from it and is wasting that opportunity for them. Might have been the opportunity of their life. How do we know? So we said we're going to use as few resources as we can.
That's true.
Of course, that comes with its own challenges and stuff, but that was a challenge, yes, but not really a challenge. But of course, as we expand, we need funds.
Now we are doing organizational leadership. What was the motivation to go for that faculty? Is it that you related to what you're doing? PCM, right? PCM? PCM Academy. So how did you go there then? And how is everything going on?
I think before I talk about going into organizational leadership, I have to talk about, first of all, I told you I've started university before. I was doing engineering sciences.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I told you, I need to go back there.
That's true.
So when I finished high school, there was this test, national test you pass. I did these tests for engineering sciences. For me, the objective was to become later an aeronautics engineer. Yeah. So I passed the test and I started university. But at that same time was the same time I was starting with PCM. So it was impossible for me. I was studying from 8 to 5 p.m., I think. And so by the time I got home, I was already tired, falling asleep. So I could not do anything besides going to school. So I said, let me focus on PCM first, because I know even though I graduate in 3 years or 4, what am I going to do then? It wasn't sure. So I said, let me just focus on PCM first, try and make it stable, make it have a clear objective, and then after I can pursue university. But then what was one gap year turned into 2 gap years. And in those gap years, I was learning more about myself. I was learning more about what I want to do. And I'm not saying I've given up on this dream of becoming an aeronautics engineer. That's, stay tuned. But right now I said, okay, the priority is to make this PCM stable, running, well operating, and reaching the people who want to reach. So I started to notice that I'm needing more these skills, these management skills. You have to be able to lead a team. You have to be able to foresee what you're going to do, the impact. And I said, I've told you, like, it's not, for me, I was like, I could do management, but management is not the same as leadership. Leadership comes from the heart. It comes from you lead as an individual, not as this high position we're into. So I said, let me do organizational leadership. So maybe after that, I can do governance and orient myself into policies and education policies. So that's how it went. I said, of course, I need these skills at the moment to be able to coordinate activities at PCM, but also it matches with what I want to become also in the future. So I said, okay, I'm going for organizational leadership. And also because it was in English, I think if I have continued in the French system, maybe it wouldn't have been easier for me to... I think the whole world is now operating in English.
Probably, yes.
You could adapt yourself if you have some knowledge in English more than you could when you are French. So I said, let me shift, because I've studied my whole life in French system. Let me do English system now and try to mix both languages, because if you have prior knowledge in French, you can still have your knowledge in French. So I said, let me mix the languages. That's how I came to organizational leadership.
The fact that you did not do, you want to become a pilot. That's what you said. Piloting.
Okay, I want more to do with
aeronautics, something.
Yeah, making planes.
All right.
I think that's a big
dream. That's a very big dream.
Yeah.
And the fact that we don't do that, are you disappointed that now we are doing organizational leadership? Is it a disappointment or?
Am I disappointed?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not.
Mm-hmm.
No. Sometimes I think we make choices now and they affect our future. But for me, I always believe that there is no limitation. Like, I could become an education policy maker and probably one day become an aeronautics engineer. There's no limitation.
Mm.
Yeah. So I thought for now, my priorities can be this education domain, because after all, it kind of has a purpose behind it. But also, I could keep doing what I also do electronic. I could do electronics as a hobby. Probably not as my main priority, but it's not really that I've given up on it. So I'm not disappointed. It's more of sometime you want something and then you have more information about yourself or your surroundings or your purpose, and then you are like, maybe I should focus more on this one. Not meaning that I've given up on this one, but I can focus more on this. And for me, if I feel peaceful with it, it's like it's not disappointment.
Imagine there is someone who's watching you from Burkina Faso who is watching, and they do not have an opportunity to come and study in Bujumbura because you said there are challenges there. What is the message that you would like to send to them? Even though they're in the countryside, even though they have limited, opportunities, I don't know, internet or wherever, or ways of living and ways of thinking in the surroundings there, what is the message that you can send to that person, little girl, little boy, who is in the countryside of Burundi?
When I think about it, I'm going to try and do a message to a specific person in mind. I think I'll say to them to not limitate themselves.
Sure.
It's a whole new world out there. There are many things you could become. That thing you are dreaming about, you could become it. It's not something you're going to always watch in a movie. You could become that thing. You could become an engineer. You could become a fashion icon. You could become a doctor. Everything you are seeing out there, you could become it. But the thing is, you have to make the first step. You have to go out of your way. You have to go out of your comfort zone and seek that person who could inspire you, or make that first step toward that thing. But just know that there is no limitation, because for me, I would say there could be some dreams you have in your mind, but then you are like, by the time I get to realize them, maybe it will be too late. Maybe it's not possible for someone like me. Maybe it's something I'm just meant to watch other people do. But that's really not true. That's not true. And the thing is, now opportunities are everywhere. It's like the whole world is your playground now.
It's now a village.
You could go to social media and post your thing, post your business, for example, and people from Australia is buying from you. So the world is now very open. But exactly because the world is open, you have now to open yourself to the world. You have to be able to rise to the standards, the global standards. Learn new things. Get your skills up. Know things, document yourself, inform yourself about the world, but just keep in mind that the world is open. There is no limitation to what you could do. But of course, you have to make an effort. But otherwise, you could do really anything. Like, you could possibly do anything.
There is this thing, if you are born and grow up in a countryside, you have a dream. Each and everybody in the countryside, they have a dream of coming and living in Bujumbura. Many of them. That's why when you go there, they look at you and they would like to live the life you're living. They would like to have some. They have those dreams of coming. Not many people would like to stay there, right?
Yeah.
And surprisingly, when I got here in Bujumbura, because even I myself, I was born and grew up in the countryside. Many people here in Bujumbura would like to go to other continents, like Canada, America, and Europe. There is this thing of coming from the countryside to Bujumbura, from Bujumbura to other parts of the world.
You always want to move.
It's all about having a dream of moving from here and there. How do you take it? How do you take that? Do you think that can be as good as Bujumbura in terms of almost everything? I think also you have an organization. I don't know, even I think you are also starting operating the countryside. What are you doing to make the countryside like as good as Bujumbura and whatever?
That's a very interesting question. Because I've always thought about it. I was like, do I really want, for example, where I grew up, do I really want you to become like Bujumbura? And my answer is always no. Because Bujumbura has its thing.
Sure.
Chibitoke also has its thing. It's not the same experience living here and living in Chibitoke. And from someone who grew up there, it's really not the same. As I said before, for example, in the countryside, there is this tendency of it being a very, very small village. It's always like people know each other, everyone know each other, but it's not the same as Bujumbura. People live on their own. And so I really do not want the countryside to become like Bujumbura. But I'm going to talk more about opportunities.
That's what I wanted to mean, by the way. When I say as good as Bujumbura, I did not mean the landscape, I don't know, the housing, the whatever. I meant maybe the opportunities. Maybe when you're in Bujumbura, you can be connected this way and that. That's what I meant. Otherwise, I do not believe that the countryside can become
it's good. Like you have the countryside and you have cities.
That's true. Every corner, part of the way has its own beauty.
By the way, it would be a disaster if every cities look the same.
That's true.
So for me, I think I would love it. That's even what we work to achieve. We would love to see more opportunities across the country, not because you were born in this place, there are some places you are not allowed to go into. For me, I think opportunities should be everywhere. Because when you talk to these people in the countryside, or however we call it, it's always people who have dreams, as you said. They have these big dreams, they have things they want to do, they have things they want to become. But there is this sense of limitation, there is this sense of you not being able to adapt when you go into this whole world now, that you feel like you cannot do it. And as I said before, the world is open. Now, there really is nothing there is no information you could not get from the internet, for example. So I would prefer more that people from the countryside have choices to not only live in Bujumbura when they want and go back in the countryside when they want, but also to live outside of the country when they want and come back to Burundi wherever they want, because that I think that's what our main goal looks like.
That's true.
People to have a choice.
That's true.
Let me have the information I need so I can choose if I want to use it or not. Let me be taught how to do business. So if I want to do business, I could do business. If I do not want to do business, I could stay doing my thing. But the thing is, what I'm talking about inequalities, it's not inequalities in opportunities, it's inequalities in information. When you do not have the information, even if they bring that opportunity to you, it's hard to even take it. You don't even know if you should take it or not. So, yeah, I think I would second that equal opportunities reach every corner of the world, or every corner of Burundi, because that way people have more choices. They know if they want to do this, they can do it or not, because they have the choice, not because you are born from this place, not because you do not have this amount of money in your account, not because your parents are not this or that, are not rich or not, but because you have this, you're just a Burundian. You have a right to be whatever you want, right? You're an individual, you are human. And I think how one way of doing that is through education, because I always think that when there is no such a thing as power, or power as in power and power as in financial stability or financial means, the only thing that could be an equalizer is education. When you are educated, I think you could even confirm on that, people will respect you more if you know how to express yourself. For example, you speak some clean French, people will be like, they'll be looking at you like they not want to talk to you. But if you go and make some mistakes or not express yourself well, people don't even look at you.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So that's an equalizer. If you have access to education, you have access to information, now you know that if at least you want to do this thing, you could do it or you could not do it, but at least you have the information and the education. That's the most important resource you could ever use to equalize opportunities. So I think maybe with a more access or a more efforts in to make education more accessible and information more accessible, people can now start taking opportunities, even if you are in the countryside or even if you are in Bujumbura. If you want, you could take it from Bujumbura, or you could be where you are at your home, and in your community there are clubs, there are communities, there are platforms you could use, there are fellowships, there are things you can do to better yourself without needing to move, necessarily needing to move. Because even if you get into Bujumbura, people tend to always want to move abroad, for example. But that's how equality looks like. It's not having to move to go to this place, not having to move to the USA to have education, but having the choice and the option of getting that same education where you are. And then having the choice to move and apply your skills or knowledge into a different country if you want, or in Burundi if you want. So moving because you lack opportunities is not really equality. Even if get people from the countryside to move abroad, it doesn't mean that we succeeded. It means we have escaped the problem. So if you want to not escape the problem, if you want to not take shortcuts, the easier way, or maybe even if it's hard to make it possible, it's make sure that everyone has the opportunity and the chance to have choices if they want to stay or leave.
You talk about education, you talk about success also. How do you define success?
I think I could bring it back to what I just said. I think for me, success is having a choice. Success is having a choice of living here or not, of living in that house, that big house, or living in a small house because you can afford it, because you could have done this if you wanted. That was success. But also, I could include, for me, it has some kind of way. It has to do with also impacting others. That success, what I'm talking about, means that I'm impacting others. I'm doing something that can impact someone else. Not really, not everybody in the world, but also being useful to some people. Because I talked about a calling from God. For me, I think we have these gifts, we have these privileges that God has given us, who have talents,
That's true.
opportunities. And I don't think anyone who wants, let's take an example. If you wanted to change the world, the thing you would do is try and make the people you help others, right? Because that's the only way you can reach everybody. So for me, it's like God gave you that talent or that opportunity for you to be able to use it in a way that serves the other person. And for me, if I'm in a place of doing that, it means like I've already succeeded. If I can offer guidance to someone who needs it without having to wait for this thing or this external thing, if I can respond to that question without having to do this or that, but also if I have this choice of doing whatever I want, for me that's success. And I don't think it has anything to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, money makes it possible, but otherwise it could be in small things, in not really always having a big account.
Anybody watching this and they think they are too young to start something, any advice?
Okay, this means as an advice, you can take it or not. So again, yeah, if you feel like it can help you, take it. For me, I don't think it has to do with age, more of experience. You're probably too young, yeah, but many people started young. And when you start young, you have an advantage.
You have all the time in the world.
Yeah, you have an advantage. You can fail. You can do mistakes. People will think, of course, you are too young. You are making mistakes, but that's an advantage. After that, you won't be having those same mistakes, right?
That's true.
If you start probably at 23, for example, by the time you are 25, even if it's 2 years, by the time you are 25 or 26 or 27, those mistakes you have made, you won't make them again because now you know better. But it's not everyone. If you start at 40, because supposedly you have experience, then you fail. And then you're wasting time and don't even have much time left compared to someone who's still young. So I would say, don't make the excuse of saying you are too young.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like that thing is going to be important, if you feel like it's going to they're going to have to be an impact, if you feel like you can do it or you need to do it, because sometimes you could be acting on pressure, feel like everybody's doing this, let me just do this. But if you feel like from your heart that you want to do it, then do it. Because there really is nothing you are losing. What are you losing? Your years. Years are supposed to be wasted. Okay, for example, if you are too young, you're supposed to be trying many things. But also, I think being afraid just because you are young, anyways, nothing belongs to you. Even those years you're trying to save, you could die tomorrow, actually. You could die tomorrow. So you might as well do those things you want to do and then gain experience from them. And if you want to do it again in the future, you will have now more experience, even more than people who did not start because they waited to be maybe older or feel more ready. So just start anyway. I think somewhere along the way, you're going to make mistakes, dumb mistakes if you want, but then you're going to learn also. So it's beneficial. It's really a win-win situation. Because even if you do not do it, you still are going to get older. In 3 years, you'll be 3 years older from what you were right now. And if you did not do anything of what you wanted to do, years still passed, but you did not do that thing you wanted to do. So do it. Maybe you're going to waste those years. Maybe they're going to feel like they're wasted. But in the end, you're probably going to find out that it was very important that you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll just emphasize on this thing. Someone asked me once what I would do if I had the chance to add something to the education we have right now. And I think, yes, we're doing very great with access to education. We're doing very great with building classrooms. We're doing very great with making sure everybody can go to school. But I think, and I'm going to use this word, it's the bare minimum. It is the bare minimum. Making sure someone goes at school is really the bare minimum. You have to take interest in what they are doing. And so this call is addressed to anyone who think they have anything to do with education, anyone who think they can change anything or add anything. If you want more access to education, if you want more access to equality for everyone, make sure when you put someone into the classroom, you know how they are doing. Make sure you keep following up on them. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you could go to school, but after that, no one is checking on you. No one knows what's happening after. And you find yourself that even if you had the opportunity to go to school, you wasted it. And sometimes I think it's not the students' fault. It's because no one was there to guide them. So this is what we're trying to do with PCM, of course, but also I would like to call everyone who think they can do anything. Make sure that if you put someone into school, or if you build a school, make sure you follow up on the student. Make sure you you help them engage in class. You help them see the bigger picture, what's happened after school, what can they do after school. And also, before finishing, it's the same thing as what I said before, but I want to put more emphasis on it. It's to anyone who's listening to me, anyone who's listening to this, whether you're young, whether you think you are an adult, whether you think you are ready or not, I'm just going to say it. The world is really your playground. You really have a chance, a golden chance to access to everything you've ever wanted. You have a chance to really go anywhere you've ever wanted to go. No one is stopping you. No one is probably yourself. You're the one stopping you. So even if you feel like there is no path right now, even if you think there is no way you could do it right now, make sure you keep yourself ready. Make sure you keep learning, you keep exploring, and do not stop until you feel satisfied. If you haven't tried anything, don't say you've arrived. Just keep searching, keep exploring until one day you feel like I've explored everything or most of it, and then what I think I'm going to do is this one. Do not just stop to one thing. Do not just settle to one thing, but try and explore. You can do more than that. Okay, someone has told me that when I was failing a class, but then right now you can do anything. It could be beyond school. It can be beyond your community, beyond your background, beyond your story, beyond what you think you are capable of. Just try. You can do it. And finally, there is this thing people have in mind, that there is a certain limitation to what you can learn. That's also not true. I'm just going to say that the brain is literally made to learn. Your brain is here to learn anything you want. The brain is made for that. So don't think there is this subject you could not learn. Just try and learn it. Your brain will adapt. The brain is there to learn. So make sure if you want it, learn, and the brain is going to catch the information. And finally, don't limitate yourself. Play well. The world is your playground.
That's really great. It was very good. And thank you so much for coming, for being our guest for today's episode. It was a pleasure.
Thank you also for the platform and for having me also, and for asking great questions and giving me time to answer. It was also a very pleasure. All the pleasure is mine to be here.
Okay, thank you so much, Adnet. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome.